In this lecture, we will be discussing about the functional safety life cycle with respect to IEC 61511. So IEC 61511 basically a child standard from IEC 61508, and IEC 61511 mainly discusses about the functional safety in the process sector. So this is basically the life cycle of IEC 61511. So it begins with the hazard and risk assessment. So this is the first step, and when the hazard and risk has been determined for the system, we need to allocate the safety function to protect the layer. So what is protection layer? This has been discussed in detail in my another lecture where I have discussed about the layer of protection analysis. So there it has been detected. So basically, in short, if I want to tell, now you have a hazard, okay, and you want to protect your system, so you will be protecting through different layers. So this is like a onion layers. So so only failure of one layer will not affect your system. Multiple layers have to be failed at the same time to affect the system. Okay, now through hazard and risk assessment you get to know what is your unmitigated risk, and you have a idea of what level of risk reduction is required. So suppose you have an initial risk of 100 and you want to reduce it to 10. So the risk reduction that is required is obviously 1 by 10. So when this risk reduction you have defined, you need to allocate this risk to the different protection layers. Okay. Now in this case, the protection layer is safety instrumented system. So depending on this risk reduction value, we prepare the safety requirement specification for SIS. So after this safety requirement specification has been done, at the same time, there is other means of risk reduction is also um, what's going on. So the basically, uh, if I consider that I have told that there are different layer, right? So this is one layer, and IEC 61511 deals with this safety instrumented system. As you see, this is the in the dotted portion. So this is not the part of the IEC 61511. So this is the other means of this risk reduction that has been followed. Now, once both of them are combined, then we get the design and engineering of the safety instrumented system. Okay, so after that we do the installation and commissioning and validation. Validation is basically the doing the site acceptance test. Then it goes through the O&M phase, operation and maintenance, and then there can be some modification in the process. So if there is some modification, then it will again go back to this step and come through the installation, commissioning and validation procedure, and then it will be done. So after that useful life is finished, then it is decommissioning is done. And throughout the life cycle, there are three things that is going on. One is safety life cycle structure and planning. So planning is going on, verification is going on, and management of the functional safety and functional safety assessment and auditing. So there are three things that is going on. One is verification, another is functional safety assessment, and another is functional safety audit. And the planning it should run from the beginning to the end. So verification is nothing but checking whether the all the tasks that are supposed to be done are done or not. So verification is in each and every step. When we are doing the hazard and risk assessment, verification will be there. When we will be doing the installation and commissioning and validation, verification will be there. So verification will be throughout all the steps of the safety life cycle. Another thing is assessment. So assessment is verification can be done by anybody, but in case of the assessment, it should be done by some independent person, and there is some competency that is defined in IEC standard to check that which person can do this functional safety assessment. So this is not I would say this is not like a, it is a periodic job. There is some frequency that can be decided by the management in which it can be checked. So that is one. And second is there is auditing that also takes place by independent person by or independent organization to check that everything has been done correctly with the right procedure, right tools, and right management process is followed. So that is one thing. And as you know that planning is very important. So planning should go from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. So this is the overall idea or very high level picture of the safety life cycle. If you have any doubt, any question, you can write in the chat box. Thank you.